Welcome back inside our Ustream coverage here from National Signing Day 2011. Ronan O'Shea getting ready to talk men's golf with the head coach of the team, Chris Malloy. A reminder, Bulls fans inside the chat room right now, send your questions into me. I got the chat room right here. If you want to talk some men's golf with the head coach of the Bulls, now is your opportunity to get your questions straight to the man in charge of the team. And Chris, always good to talk to you. We're about a week away from getting the spring schedule underway for you. I know it's an exciting time for men's golf.
Absolutely, and once we started up with classes, we're about 3 weeks into practice now, so it'll be nice to get out and get under some tournament conditions and figure out where we are as a team.
In the same light of football, Coach Skip Holt in his first year at the helm of the team. You're also in the first year at the helm of men's golf. Tell me a little bit about what the transition process has been like for you. Of course, you had the fall schedule under your belt, the opportunity to get to know the guys, but I know the summer was a bit of a whirlwind for you, getting everything together and moving here to Tampa.
Yeah, absolutely, and basically got the job July 1st, and with golf, unfortunately, you're recruiting 360 days a year, for the most part, and there's not a whole lot of downtime, but the major part of your recruiting and kind of where you make your hay is during the summer, and so I hit the ground running with recruiting and didn't know what to expect, didn't know what we had, in place, and especially on the recruiting front. So, that first month and a half, 2 months was an absolute whirlwind. Worked out for us. We signed 3 guys in the early signing period, and it was, I keep telling people, I had scenario A, B, C, D, E, F, G, on down the road, hoping to get one of those guys. We thought if we got one of our top 3 that would be a successful class, and once we got them on the campus, we signed all 3, and it was that made it a lot easier. And I tell you, it makes life easier, right now as we have those guys committed and coming in for next year. So it allows you to concentrate a little bit more on your current team, and then kind of catch back up with the other schools and get into the 2012 class.
You mentioned the current team. Anytime a new coach or coaching staff, whatever the case may be, comes in, there's always that transition period. I think most casual fans think, well, how do the student athletes react to a new coaching staff coming in? But it's the same thing for you. I mean, you got to get to know the guys. You got to get to know their swing. You need to get to know their personalities. What was that process like, and how quickly did your student athletes warm up to you and go, this is our guy, and let's start listening to him?
They were great from the first phone call, and when I was driving back from Tampa to Tallahassee, and touch base with each of them, and they were great from the start. And once they got onto campus, it's normally you see a couple that are a little bit leery, and these guys have really made my transition a lot easier. Great group of guys. We have a long way to go in terms of improving, but all you can ask as a coach is a group of guys that want to learn and are willing to listen, and I got a team full of them right now, so that made the process a lot easier.
You went through the fall season a couple of months ago, and the one constant thing that you and I have talked about is it seemed like every weekend there was improvement, and that's exactly what you need and want out of the fall portion of the golf schedule. Would you say that what was most encouraging to you about the fall time is they were playing their best golf at the very end?
Played our best round of golf the last round of the fall, and as you said, that's exactly what you want to see. We knew we were going to take our lumps, coming in a little bit. I saw where we were when these guys got done with their summer schedule, and they kind of paid that price at the first tournament and first couple of rounds. But they continued to improve, and like I said, capped it off with a great round for their final round of the fall. Golf, the hard work that you put in, what I've told our guys, and any golfer out there knows that if you work hard this week, you're not going to see that next week. You're going to see that a few weeks down the road, a few months down the road after you've really practiced it for a while. And our guys, once again, they bought in from the start, and they went out on a high note, and they're going to carry that momentum, to the spring season. I can already see it from our first practice. They're playing better golf once they got back to campus than that possibly had all fall long.
Let's see, a couple questions here have rolled into the chat room, so let's take a moment and get to that. I'll start here with a question from Steve, and he wants to know, does the golf program have an affiliation with a major golf manufacturer, such as a Ping, a Nike, Under Armour, whatever the case may be?
That's a great question, and I get that a lot. Under Armour is we're an Under Armour school, and for apparel and anything that Under Armour makes, we are that's what we wear, and we're very fortunate, especially with Under Armour coming a long way with their guys on the PGA Tour that they sponsor. The golf shirts, the pants, have been great. As far as anything outside of that, I want my guys to play whatever they feel comfortable with. If it's Titleist irons, then that's been great. If it's Nike irons, then that's great. Or TaylorMade, just get in their hands, whatever they like looking down at. And it's such a, any golfer knows it's such a personal deal. Mm-hmm. And I always had a old wedge that I think it was an old Snake Eyes wedge that no one else liked, and it wasn't a very popular brand, but man, I loved it. And that's what you see a lot of golfers have once they get a good club in their hand, that they like that, and it could be a driver that they liked from high school. So we keep it pretty darn wide open.
Such a personal deal, you said there. Here's a question for you from Steve, a personal one, I guess. What driver are you playing right now?
I've once again, I've always been a big Titleist guy, and I like looking down at a Titleist driver. So that I'm playing the new Titleist driver.
So again, get your questions in here inside the chat room at gousfbulls.com. Talking with Chris Malloy, the head coach of the golf team. It starts up February 11th and 12th at the TPC here in Tampa Bay. It's in Tampa, Florida. The match play is the tournament. Just talk about some of the expectations you have coming off of that strong fall that you had going now into the spring portion of the schedule.
Well, we expect to win, so that we wouldn't go out there with any other mindset. There are some good teams in this field, but we feel they're coming into our backyard, so we need to get out there and compete. Just like any other sport, you can't control the outcome, but you can control what you do, and I think our good is going to be as good as anybody else's, especially this time of year. We're a Florida school. I'm wearing shorts today, and it's February 2nd, so it's that's an advantage that we have. But I want our guys to build, get some momentum going through this event and into our spring season. So I want to be playing our best golf by the end of the spring.
You've made it very clear that your expectations for the future of this program are championships, Big East championships, national championships. That's exactly what you intend on bringing to the University of South Florida. Obviously, it starts with the very bottom, the very basic things when you're a first-year coach. Just tell me some of the little things that have to begin to get that process rolling, whether it's recruiting, whether it's facilities, whatever the case may be, to get this program where you want it.
It's recruiting, and recruiting.
Okay.
The better players I get in here, the better that I'm going to look as a coach. The more mistakes that I can make. But that's where it all starts. And we have some talent in here now. The guys we'll have coming in next year will be a great addition to the program. But absolutely, you start on basics. We start on things as small as pre-shot routine. A lot revolves around some short game practice. So you're right, it is stepping stones, but by far the most important is the recruiting aspect of it.
Looking forward to seeing what you can do with men's golf here. An exciting time inside the athletic department and a lot of optimism around the golf program right now. It'll be fun to see where it goes, and good luck next weekend when it starts right here in Tampa with the beginning of the spring schedule. Good luck, Coach.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Head coach of the USF men's golf team, Chris Malloy. We've got much more golf coverage right here on gousfbulls.com by clicking on the golf tab. But certainly today, keep things right here at National Signing Day Central. Much more coverage coming up in just a little bit. Also, if you click in on Signing Day Central, you can see video of the recruits which have already committed here to the University of South Florida. Keep your questions rolling into the chat room. Much more until 3 o'clock right here at gousfbulls.com.